nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call to order, Dr. Harmon.
Okay.
Patron statements, patron input. We have Mr. Brian Ader. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Just wanted to, for an informational point of view here, the city is in the process of developing several TIF districts. And we're going to have an informational meeting on December 29th at 6 o'clock for the public and everything. And after that, at 7 o'clock, or whatever time it is, going to do the declaratory side of things to actually declare things. But the TIF districts is a new area up here in Country Court 5. And over off of William Street, the property that was just to the east where I used to live, the Smith property, and that's back of where the who used to live in now, it's been so long. But anyway, that area there along William Street, you go back towards the back where reverse this whole place is out, that property that was behind our house and everything at the time. And then over on Pine Street where we got new development going up, and then also back behind where the car wash is at over there, where Shaded Estates used to be. So just wanted to give you guys information on that, and then
what information is it? Are they building homes, or what are we doing?
yeah, building homes. Building homes, and actually there's duplexes going in and stuff like that, so yes. But just wanted to give everybody a heads up on what's going on. We've got a lot of things going on, a lot of building homes and stuff being built, so. Part of the procedure.
What date did you say, Brian?
December 29th, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Thank you.
The apartment goes to 6 in January, right? Apartment complex.
What?
Start sticking it up.
Hopefully they got doing the dirt work about done. I think next week they're going to do some pile drives, some driving the stone and stuff, stabilize the ground and stuff. They got 15 days for that. They've got plans, so it's going to be moving along. Weather committee down there. I was down today. It was totally different. Don't even recognize the place.
It's 50 units.
50 units with the daycare. We just wanted to inform the school and what's going on.
With the board's permission, Mayor, I have significant experience with TIF districts. Princeton, the Toyota TIF is the largest TIF district in the state of Indiana. I would, if the board's okay with that, I would welcome the opportunity to sit in on any meetings, even as the TIFs are created. Sometimes that can be helpful. Be happy to do that if you so desire. And sometimes being in on the ground floor, maybe I can offer some experiences from a Toyota TIF that might be helpful. So I'd be happy to do that if the board's okay with that.
Appreciate that offer. TIF's going to change after January 1. So everything going on. So Dana was at a meeting today, and the county asked where we're at. Dana came and talked to me, and I said, this is where we're at. He goes, oh, didn't know this, and this. He said, because the county was literally going to do like the whole area here as a TIF district and stuff like that, so we don't lose out on any funds and stuff like that, but we're already
ready to
execute everything,
yes. Do you know who serves on the redevelopment commission?
County.
Yeah.
So it's the 3 commissioners, and then Monty Gregory and Warren Albright, the council group, and then Jessica Potts kind of runs it, other than Michelle. So that's the main voter. So I go there for him.
Okay.
Are there outside firms that help in that, or who's that?
Yeah.
What's Jim's last name?
Look it up here.
He's the one that does the Westgate, right?
Yes.
He does the Westgate TIF also.
Yeah, I can tell you here.
I just know Mr. Jan, he's always on the Zoom behind me, so.
I get through my 45 different gyms. We're actually using, Crowe and Associates, Buzz Chrome, and then, on the legal side, just one of the major, I just lost, but one of the major,
Is it Ice Miller? They do
no, it
tips.
was Nice Miller.
Barnes and Thornburg does tips.
Barnes and Thornburg.
Okay.
I'm trying to think that's who it was. When I was in office the first time, we did use, Ice Mills.
Yeah.
I can't find his name here.
That's fine.
Come to you in the middle of the meeting.
Yeah. They put together other tips, I know. I'm pretty sure that's the same group that's in, that put together the Westgate tip. Is, have they begun any discussions, Mayor, in regard to any, what that tip's gonna look like other than geographic size of what the size of that tip might be as far as gathering, assessed value, what the value of that would be, considering any pass-through whatsoever on those tips, or have those discussions been held yet?
They're going through and getting all that stuff, numbers fine-tuned at this point. We did not do any bonds or issues or anything on that because of the way the developments are going right now, so we didn't have to worry about doing anything as far as that, so there's no money. You know, we're not obligated on anything as far as paying anything out or anything for a particular time.
Okay.
And one thing with developments we have right now is that if someone does want to develop something, you know, we're looking at, instead of, we're not gonna give a developer money per se, but we will take and say, hey, we can help out with so much within the infrastructure, whether it's water lines,
Right.
sewage lines, you know, up to X amount of dollars, and we just buy the materials and then give them to them for what they need, you know, up to a certain amount.
Yeah.
Figure out, and that would vary on the size of the, development.
Yeah. So typically, so I don't know how much you know about TIFs, but it's, tax increment financing, and basically they, if you have a TIF district, any new, assessed value that goes into that TIF geographic area, they capture that assessed value. Assessed value, as we've talked about before, times tax rate equals money. That generates money. So if you have an assessed value, you take that times your tax rate, and then you owe a levy, what we call a levy. So that TIF district can generate that cash, that levy, by capturing, they use the term capturing, that. There'll be a sunset on that district. As an example, the largest TIF in Indiana is the Toyota TIF, and it sunsets at the end of 25. It was a 20-year TIF.
20-year TIFs, and then I know on the one up here at Country Court 5, that, the numbers of that is set at a minimum of like $350,000, that's what the home is gonna be. One's, I think behind the, car wash there at, you know, Shady Estates, you're like $150,000 or $175,000 threshold on that as far as just duplexes. And another one that's like $75,000 where the, tiny homes are being built.
Right.
And then the other ones, the houses over there on Poplar Street by the, nursing home, you're up to around 175, 250, you know, for that. And then one off of William Street there, there's no homes there yet, so it really wasn't, you know,
Right.
in the original talking, they were looking at, you know, the $150,000, $250,000 homes there, but since then, that property is sold, and the developer hasn't really done anything, but we want to be prepared for that.
So, and a TIF district, you know, makes sense. In the case of Toyota, in order for them to come there, they use those TIF dollars primarily, and I mean, there's laws governing this at the state level. They primarily used it for infrastructure, building, putting the roads in, getting the water there, getting the septic in there, getting the electrical in there. And then that makes it more attractive for either an industry or home builders to come in and move into, to that area. And if it's none of my business, it's fine. Are they considering any abatements as well, or are they just currently looking at TIF at this time frame?
Typically residential right now, so,
Yeah.
you know, the only tax abatements we look at, if we're actually gonna have an industry or some type of business coming in. That's the only thing, you know, if you do a abatement on all housing, then every contractor's gonna want something.
Exactly.
You're gonna lose that tax base.
Correct.
So, and I think this one here may be considered what they call a spider tip, because it's
Right.
around the whole city, different places, they tie it in. That's what I'm hoping we've never hit that way, because then the monies can be used in different areas for your infrastructure versus most TIF districts is used in that.
In that geographic boundary,
Yes,
correct.
in that boundary.
There are some exceptions to that. Toyota did a few of those, during their years, but
Yeah,
yeah.
some hoops to jump through.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Mayor, for that information, and again, I'd be very interested in, helping with that process and representing the school to do that, and having some of those discussions, and, certainly the housing is beneficial to the community and to the school as well, for population, that's a good thing. And, if there's any, discussions about potential pass-through at some point down the road, or maybe not initially until that infrastructure's in, but if that's a discussion, I'd be happy to be involved in that as well.
What I can do, Dr. Harmon, is get back with, Buzz Crowe and Associates and that, and the law firm, maybe have them forward you and get you an email and everything like that's going on, that way bring you up to speed.
Great.
And then, because, so the school knows right now with the housing and with Country Fork expanding up here, you know, they got 41 lots, and I'm not sure the exact amount, I think it's like 11 or 12 that are, you know, several sold, but you're at 25%, and most times in new housing, you only do 1 to 2, maybe 3 houses a year if you're lucky, so we're way above the curve. So there's some things we gotta get going on our side, is one, we're gonna have to do a new lift station out here.
Right.
And so we've got that in process. By the time we do the Country Fork 5, the housing and all the other places, we're looking at an increase. You know, we've got 1,500 users on our system, and that includes what's out of town. But we're looking at adding anywhere, once everything comes to fruition is done, anywhere between 150 to 170 new users. So that's a huge increase here, and that's gonna, you know, hopefully impact the school for kids coming here, or parents having kids and stuff. So it's gonna be a huge impact for the city, maybe not right away, but in the next few years, couple of years, with what's going on at Craner, and all the housing, hopefully get built on and keep doing this. And we've got other areas that we can go to, you know, if the price is right for property for people to get in and develop it. But our system is set up to handle, we're not even near capacity yet.
Yeah. And I know most of those individuals, so at Princeton, Ice Miller represented the redevelopment commission, and Barnes and Thornburg represented the school on bonding issues, and also represented the TIF itself, the TIF district itself. So I know most, and have had multiple meetings with most of those attorneys that are involved in that. So I'd be, like I said, if the board's okay with it, I'd be happy to.
This is all set, Flashman, you deal with Lisa any at all?
It was what?
With Ice Miller, and Lisa, I can't remember her last name, she.
Yes, yeah.
Very sharp.
Yeah, what was the guy's name? Long, I think his last name is Long. He attended most of the meetings for the redevelopment commission. But they, a lot of times they would invite me to those meetings. It was just helpful for me to know. And then I could help also provide information to the community about what was going on and why. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? From the board? Okay, Mr. President, I turn it back to you.
I'm going to back there, I'll go to, because I gotta leave, and so I don't have to vote then.
We appreciate that.
Unless if I need.
Okay. No, I think we would love for you to be last. That, whatever you guys work out.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Doc, let me get back to my tab.
That's good. That still says Mark.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. Thank you. Approval of board minutes from October 23rd, 2025. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
2.5 is approval of claims and vouchers, corporation claims and vouchers. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Section 3, Dr. Harmon, personnel matters.
Okay, I have very limited, this evening I have, approval of a resignation from Savannah Hunt as administrative assistant effective 11/25/25. Also have a recommendation to approve, substitute nurse pay at $100 per day. I also have the following recommendations from Josh Thompson, athletic director, that include girls youth basketball volunteers, Jeff Bledsoe for first and second grade, Bailey Oberg for second grade, and Tyler Bratton for fourth grade. And also boys basketball volunteer for middle school level, Mike Foster. And that is all the personnel items I have this evening.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve personnel matters as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
I have nothing under separate agenda item personnel listed there.
Okay,
So we're down to your favorite part, the board's favorite part. There's nothing that the board enjoys more than reading board policy. And you have had a lot of that to read. I would like to thank officially Dr. Christmas. She keeps on top of this. Anytime there's a legislative session, it takes the next year to be able to upgrade policy. And that's done through Lewis and Kappas, through Neola, they're the other big attorney group out of Indianapolis. And Shelley stays on top of those policies, and I appreciate you reading them and going through those for approval. So tonight would be the second reading. Traditionally, Dr. Christmas, have we approved those at the second reading meeting or at the subsequent meeting?
At the second.
Okay, so it would be my recommendation, if you don't have any questions, you've had a first reading, they were actually sent to you before that. So it would be my recommendation, after thanking Dr. Christmas for the work she put into this, that the board approve the second reading and also approve those policies as presented by Neola.
okay, can I have a motion to approve the second reading and also approve or propose final approval of policies? So second reading and final approval.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Dr. Christmas.
The next item, also Dr. Christmas covered for me. Monday and Tuesday, I was in Indianapolis for IPEP meeting. I was appointed to the IPEP board. It's my second meeting with them. That's the Indiana Public Employees Plan. It's interesting, and we had a calendar meeting scheduled, and Dr. Christmas attended the calendar meeting for me, gained input from the teaching staff, staff in general, really, that they might have on development of the next calendar. And she incorporated that input into a calendar that will meet our obligations on the 180 days, and it was entered into your board packets. And any questions that you might have of either myself or Dr. Christmas regarding that calendar, it has been duly discussed with the Teachers Association, which is not a requirement any longer, but we still do it, and we want to continue to do that. It'd be my recommendation that you approve the 26-27 Lagodi Community School calendar.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the 26-27 calendar?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item under 6.3 is approval of the spring Lagodi Community School Corporation musical. The musical for this year is The Addams Family. There is a school version of this which we will be using that information was included. The particulars of that musical was also included in your board packets. And due to changes in recent regulation or statutory requirements, it's now a common practice, not only for us, but for other schools, to take a little closer review, have the governing board also take a review of that. And there are also school additions to many of the classics, I guess I would say. I'm not saying the Addams Family is necessarily a classic, but maybe it is. But there is a school edition for that, and many of the classics now have that. So I would like to thank all those that work hard, not only the students, but the staff members that work hard on those musicals. They're fabulous to watch. I would encourage everyone to come and see those, and I would recommend, following any questions the board might have, to approve the spring musical of the Addams Family School Edition.
Can I have a motion to approve the Addams Family as the spring musical?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I was there when they did the reveal.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Next, we'll turn it over to Dr. Christmas. Comment from Mayor.
I just want to say, I want to reiterate what you had said there about the community coming out, watching these musicals and stuff, because every time I've been up to see them, now I come up with my grandkids, but not just the grandkids, but the community needs to understand what kind of talent that we really have in these young kids, because you always think of young kids being shy and held back and intimidated, but when you see these kids out here on the stage, it literally absolutely blows you out of the water, what they can do, how they can sing, how they can perform. And I know they have a very strong ethics to do all this, and it takes a lot of talent, and you just can't give them enough credit.
Absolutely.
But, it's a fabulous time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I as you would, Mayor, I would encourage anybody who hasn't had an opportunity to do that to come out and see them. They'll be impressed. It'll be an evening. It'll be an enjoyable evening.
Or no more than what it costs. I mean, it's,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's cheap.
And come see both casts.
Yes,
Come
that's
see
true.
both casts.
Yeah,
Because it's just to see the full extent.
yes,
And it's good that we have a program that you have that many students at one.
involved in, yes, exactly.
I concur. It also takes a lot of work on Lindsay and Joel's parts, both of our choir and directors to put those on. So, and I know it's really stressful on them, but they do a great job.
A lot of hours,
And working with those kids.
a lot of hours.
And also for the props, I used to help out and do that years and years ago. A lot of work for, who's doing the props and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a lot of good things this month. Doc, I just want to let you know that, I don't think I've ever seen a Star Trek musical. I don't know that that would be classified as a
Yeah, that's,
classic.
so I have a tendency to use Star Trek references, and people just don't get them. I use them in the opera, yeah, now Georgia can do the
Vulcan.
yeah, but yeah,
I just want to.
yeah, you can throw that in there, yeah.
LES updates. A lot of things are happening at the elementary, middle school, high school this past month. The Red Ribbon Week, I always have to say that carefully, but I'm not right sometimes, was October 22nd, 27th through the 31st. Students looked at healthy choices. They also did this at the middle school and high school, healthy choices, making good decisions, and taking care of their bodies, staying away from drinking and drugs as well. Term line celebration occurred in the middle or in the elementary. They had a food day, so they had all sorts of fun activities. Here they were decorating. It looks like crackers, and they made like really face on them. You can see, I think he's reading a what it's touching. I think he thinks it's worms. You can look at his face. He wasn't real entertained by that, but he was actually reaching his hand in the spaghetti. LES teams had a meeting, and what they did, they worked with teams to prepare and decorate for Veterans Day, and they put on a program on Veterans Day. You'll see some pictures of that coming up a little bit. And then we had the fourth grade solo at North 80s on November the 17th, and Stay came in first place. So that was an exciting event for our kids. And I know, I believe Mariah Bullock is the sponsor of that. She put in a lot of time with those kids, and they came out on top, and they will see where they place in the state before too long. On November the 11th, the elementary had a different celebration than the middle school and high school. They invited in veterans that were family members, and they have cookies with them, so you can see here. And then the members of the military paraded down the hallway. The kids were all excited to have decorations and show their respect for the veterans during that celebration, which was really a good thing. They had Book Character Day on October 31st. Students pick one of their favorite books, and they dress up like a character in their book. Teachers even dress up too. We've got Jay Dorsett, our life skills teacher, who's dressed up as one of the three pigs. Teachers like to get a chance to look at those. It's a really fun day for those kids. Middle school updates, classroom updates. Mr. Walton's fifth grade PLTW class finished their green architecture class, so they created, you can see the popsicle stick thing on the very end. They created their houses, and they were testing basically the greenhouse to find out how much the radiation increased the temperature in there, so they could have a living arrangement or grow plants or just keep it warm for someone to live in. Mrs. Wagner's sixth grade class read informational text about photography. They learned about lighting, aspect ratios, lighting, and they all did a selfie with that information that they learned from the reading. In Mrs. Abel's sixth grade class, they've been doing some science. They're doing binary code. So if you see kids holding little beads, those are 0 and 1s for the binary codes. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. That's pretty interesting stuff, like all computers run off of 0s and 1s to send information. They did an election, so they were picking their favorite foods. They were creating election campaigns to see who's going to win. And then also they had a circuit lab, so they're working to create circuits. On October 31st, no, that was the 31st, that was different, that was the week before that. Finding Nemo Kids was produced by the middle school and elementary students. They did a great job. It was really, really a neat performance. I was amazed by some of those kids and just the lines that they had memorized, and they did a great job. So it was really neat, and they talked about them. Indiana Beta Junior State Convention took place on November 13th and 14th. Shayla Arthur is their sponsor, and I know being a former Beta sponsor, this takes a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of herding cats. So they did a great job. Lagodi, I had the superintendent of Bloomfield, Lagodi Fuji, and all of our kids away performed very well. He talked about Davis' son speaking, and he was really surprised how well he spoke, and he has a lot of respect for him. But at the middle school, I know Elena Lyon ran for one of the offices. She did a great job. She was asked to come to a leadership academy afterwards. As far as competitions go, there's art, there are content areas, math science, social studies, history, public speaking, all these great things. The middle school came away with 9 first place wins, 11 second place wins, and 11 third place wins. That's amazing, you know, the group, and it's like all these kids came out as winners. So, and it's not like they give a trophy to everybody. Our kids competed against everybody and did very well. Okay, the middle school had an all-region honor band at South Knox on November 15th and 16th. The kids did a great job. We had 6 students performing that. We had the fall band concert on October the 24th. It was a Halloween type environment with Halloween. They had Harry Potter, they had Wednesday Addams, that's a popular, oh, I guess that's, yeah, that's right. And a bunch of different kind of Halloween type songs to play. Those are always really, really neat to go see, and they did a great job.
Joel did a great job with that production. Too.
Yes, he did.
Very good.
Yes. On Veterans Day celebration for the high school and middle school was Tuesday, November the 11th. Mr. Showalter and Bristol Yoder did a great job of putting together a presentation. We had students that sang, we had students that played the national anthem, played taps. The EFW brought in some of their members, and they presented arms, is that what you say? Presented the flags and arms. And it was very, very respectful and very well thought of. A lot of the veterans, when they left, were very honored that they were asked to come in, and it was just nice to see the tribute and the respect that our students had for those people, that served our country so we can live in the place we are today. So that was a very good celebration.
The guest speaker did really well.
I was gonna
Yes,
say, we had a great guest speaker that
Yes,
day.
yes, he did. Festival of Bands was at Bar Eve on November 4th. The kids did a great job there. That's a lot of hard work to direct that many kids, but all the kids played very well. And it's really neat. If you ever get the chance to go to that, it sounds amazing too. And this is rotated between different schools, in our area. So it was Bar Eve this year, I believe the year before, it's North Davies. Lagode's housed it sometimes too. And it's a big undertaking by the school.
Lagodi gets an extra, I think.
We get an extra day. Okay, the staff and, the staff played, the staff just dominates. But, we had a roar and rally boys volleyball tournament, at the high school, staff versus boys, staff won. So a bunch of old people, they're all right here, won, and kids had a great time competing against them. So boys from each high school class, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, competed against staff, so they ended up winning the tournament. There was a poverty simulation in alliance with the Martin County Alliance for Economic Growth. Students were given jobs and basically a pay amount that they were paid per year. They had to go through and work in family groups to navigate 1 month of life on a very limited income. So students went there, they had to find ways to pay for transportation, childcare, food stamps, criminal justice issues, housing, utilities, and other real world responsibilities. So a special thank you goes out to Jessica Potts for putting these on. She does a wonderful job for Martin County and everything she does, trying to help with the economic growth of our area. She goes to a lot of meetings and stuff, but she does a lot of things with our students and asks our students to come help with things. And we're very fortunate that we have that relationship with her. The high school beta state convention is also took place that same weekend, but it was on Friday and Saturday instead of the 14th and 15th. Tracy McAtee, TJ's wife, and Jamie Wildman are the co-sponsors of that. Again, that takes a lot of hard work, a lot of information to get to the state to make sure the kids can compete in the competitions that they're in. First place, we had 7 first place wins, 7 second place wins, 10 third place wins. We had 2 premier performers. I believe Davison was one of them. Yep, so they can go to nationals and be a premier performer down there. That's at Nashville this summer.
At the Grand Ole Opry.
At the Grand Ole Opry, so that's pretty cool too. And then Sarah Jones also was the $1,000 Indiana Beta Scholarship winner. So they were very impressed. I spoke with one of the committee members that selected her, said she blew their socks off when they spoke with her. So Sarah did a very good job and is very worthy of the $1,000 scholarship that she received.
That's out of hundreds of kids too. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Lions Den's update, Mrs. Adams' computer science class, they made little LED pets. Young grades and Mr. Baker's 10th grade language arts class, what they did, they read Cynthia Plath's poem, and they created models and actually interpreted deeper meaning in those poems with that. Mrs. Martin's quantitative reasoning class, they did city planning designs, so you can see that's one of those. And then Mrs. Van Hoy's class did cell models this month. Okay, other updates coming up. The College and Career Fair is at Shoals tomorrow, so Lagodi and Shoals students will all go to Shoals at the high school, and they're going to interact with different colleges and anybody that possibly has a career future for them. Thanksgiving break is next Wednesday through Friday. The FAFSA Family Night is on December the 3rd at 6 p.m. at the school. So Heather Hawkins, our guidance counselor, will help parents work through the FAFSA. Those of you guys have done that, that's a fun process. I know you probably look forward to it every year. But that will be taking place here. Free help is always fun too. Homecoming is on December the 5th. Instead of having a homecoming dance after homecoming, the student council decided to have a snowball the next night. That's gonna be at JFK, and it will be a formal, semi-formal dance for the kids, so they're really all excited about doing that. Choir Christmas concerts on December the 7th, band concerts on December 14th, and then the fun final exams start popping December 18th and 19th. So I know the kids are looking forward to that. Also last night, I was notified at 4:30, we received a grant from National Gypsum for $27,500 to go towards, the purchase of a shop lot for line manufacturing. So that was very, very, very nice of National Gypsum to throw money our way for that. So we're really thankful to National Gypsum for believing in the school, our students, and help contribute to the future workforce of our area. I'm done. That still took less time to talk about tax stuff.
Okay, I have one thing to add to you.
What's that?
Can you go back to the beta? Take a look at all
Yes.
the
Yes.
high school kids.
Yes.
This picture here, I'll let you guys know, Daxley is up there right behind Reed, he's the one, hit kid in the middle. He got a congressional nomination for Mark Mesmer to go to the Air Force Academy.
Oh,
The reason
wow.
I know that is because Dalton got a congressional nomination for Mark Mesmer to go to West Point.
Wow.
So they're not in yet, but out of 21 counties, in the 8th district, those two kids out of a class of 40. It's a pretty big accomplishment, I think, for the school and them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. I did.
Thank you, Dr. Christmas, and that is a big deal to get a congressional recommendation to.
Especially out of 21 counties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Other kids we have here.
In your package, you've got your extracurricular activity reports.
Yep.
For your viewing. We've also got an athletics report in there separate, produced by Athletic Director Josh Thompson. And finally, are your corporation finance reports. And I appreciate always you looking through those and making sure that we answer any questions you could have on the finances for the school district. The last thing I would have for the board is 1782s, which are the final process of budget season. The first ones dropped last Friday. We haven't received ours yet, but I anticipate that those will start coming out probably over the next few weeks. And so when I get that information, I'll send you out a copy, and then we'll talk about it at the next board meeting following when those come out. Other than that, Mr. President, that's all I have for this evening. Have I missed anything, Georgia, Sandra? Am I good? Am I within my time constraints? I can't.
We're good, right? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.